Smith, and I'm with Christian Leadership Partners. And for the last 13 days, we've been doing a coaching session. These coaching sessions last less than 10 minutes, and if you start your day out with them, I think that it'll really make a huge difference for you. You know, we've been going over our goal processes and the development of our goals for 2 weeks now. If this is the first time that you've seen one of these videos, I really do encourage you to go back and start with the first one, and then just do one a day and start working on your goals in that process. What's happening is that our goals are actually evolving into something that's what we know that we can accomplish and something that we know that is in line with what God shows us. We're using the book of Proverbs to keep us in line, and today being the 13th day, we're going to go to Proverbs chapter 13. We'll see that in Proverbs chapter 13, there are 5 different things that actually help us to see the importance of what we want to accomplish. Let's take a look at what Proverbs 13 provides for us. Proverbs chapter 13 tells us we should listen to wise advice. It tells us to watch our mouth. It talks about contrasting attitudes, talks about the value of wise advice, and it gives us the value of what dreams are in our lives. You know, when we look at that last statement with dreams, that actually comes right in alignment with the development of our goals. And that's what we want to identify today. We want to identify those things that are actually holding us back. You know, Proverbs 13:6 tells us godliness guards the path of the blameless, but the evil are mixed by sin. So what we can see is that Proverbs chapter 13 actually holds a lot in store for us. So let's take a look at this proverb and see how it can actually change our lives. Proverbs chapter 13. A wise child accepts a parent's discipline. A mocker refuses to listen to correction. Wise words will win you a good meal, but treacherous people have an appetite for violence. Those who control their tongue will have a long life. Opening your mouth can ruin everything. Lazy people want much but get little, but those who work hard will prosper. The godly hate lies, the wicked cause shame and disgrace. Godliness guards the path of the blameless, but the evil are misled by sin. Some who are poor pretend to be rich, others who are rich pretend to be poor. The rich can pay a ransom for their lives, but the poor won't even get threatened. The life of the godly is full of light and joy, but the light of the wicked will be snuffed out. Pride leads to conflict. Those who take advice are wise. Wealthy from get-rich-quick schemes quickly disappears. Wealth from hard work grows over time. Hope deferred makes the heart sick, but a dream fulfilled is the tree of life. People who despise advice are asking for trouble. Those who respect a command will succeed. The instruction of the wise is a life-giving fountain. Those who accept it avoid the snares of death. A person with good sense is respected. A treacherous person is headed for destruction. Wise people think before they act, fools don't, and even brag about their foolishness. An unreliable messenger stumbles into trouble, but a reliable messenger brings healing. If you ignore criticism, you will end in poverty and disgrace. If you accept correction, you will be honored. It is pleasant to see dreams come true, but fools refuse to turn from evil to attain them. Walk with the wise and become wise. Associate with fools and get in trouble. Trouble chases sinners while blessings reward the righteous. Good people leave an inheritance to their grandchildren, but the sinner's wealth is passed on to the godly. A poor person's farm may produce much food, but injustice sweeps it all away. Those who spare the rod of discipline hate their children. Those who love their children care enough to discipline them. The godly eat to their heart's content, but the belly of the wicked goes hungry. So the value of Proverbs actually helps us to identify the negative and then remove it from our lives. And we're going to have several exercises, not only now but in the future, to identify those negative things that are in our lives and try and get them out of them. Proverbs 13:6 tells us godliness guards the path of the blameless, but the evil are misled by sin. So we want to take Solomon's advice in this aspect and start changing the way that we look at our problems. So we want to identify what is it that's keeping us from change. Yesterday, we looked at the actions that we take to address the effects. Now what we want to do is we want to rank those barriers in preventing us from changing and identify our biggest obstacle. So if I can identify my biggest obstacle, I can remove that. I don't want to remove the smaller obstacles first, because most of those smaller obstacles will be removed once I handle that big thing. So if we can identify the big thing in our lives that's keeping us from our successes, then we know that we can be successful. So here are 3 things that we can do to make sure that we can do that. What we want to do is first list those things that are internal and external that are holding us back. So look at both the internal things that are affecting us, that's the way that we think, the way that we act, our certain personalities and our characteristics. And then we also want to take a look at those external things that are holding us back as well. Those could be relationships that we have, they could be friendships that we have, they could be the jobs that we possess. The second thing that we want to do is we want to make sure that we can address each of these in order. In other words, we want to rank how much each one is holding us back. If I can rank the ones that are biggest first and then handle those first and then address the smaller ones later, then what will happen is that the bigger ones will be taken care of while the smaller ones should follow the path of that other one. If I can overcome the bigger obstacles, the smaller ones will be easier, and I know that I can be accessible that way. The third thing that we want to do is we want to identify those things that need to be different so that we can see the change. So if I can identify those negative aspects of what's affecting me in my life, now what I can do is I can affect those things and I can see that I know exactly what I need to address and what needs to change. Once we've identified those things, and I encourage you to use the goal worksheet that's down in the comments section and write your answers on that. If you can find these issues and if you can find these differences, then you're that much closer. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that we're successful in using Proverbs chapter 13 in our lives. And if we can address those things and use those to make the difference in our lives, then we're going to see the change that we wanted to see. If I can help do this, then I know that I can be that much more successful in every other step of my life. Now, I encourage you to share these coaching sessions with your family members, with the members of your team, with your subordinates, even with your supervisors. You may find that they'll actually help them as well. And in fact, you can share these on Facebook, on Instagram, you can retweet them, you can take the link from YouTube and share that any way that you want. But most of all, I really want you to start using this tool to become your best you. Or if you can do that, then you're going to see the successes starting to multiply in your lives, and you're going to start achieving your goals that much quicker. So what we want to do then is we want to address these things. We want to make sure that we're using the book of Proverbs to make the difference in our lives, and we want to become a miracle going someplace to happen.